Welcome back to another video. Busy weekend right here, putting out videos almost every day right now. There's a lot going on in crypto. But if you have caught any of my videos in the last 2 weeks or so, you know I really jumped on board recently with this Nubila weather project, even getting a Nubila Marco in recently. And this video is going to be about setting this Nubila Marco up. I did a video yesterday that I released about the Nubila nodes. And while I don't want to make this particular video too long, this is kind of like a part one and part two. The Nubila nodes was part one. This will be a part two video. Trying to keep my videos from being under an hour. I know how much y'all love them and how much I love sitting in front of a TV with y'all popcorn and drinks, like it's family time watching Grumpy's hour-long videos. But so I've split this one up into two because some people who already have a Nubila Marco might not want to see that, you know. But we're gonna be doing more node stuff because nodes go on sale next Friday, which is 7 days from today. That should be the 10th of October on Helium Deploy. From what I understand and what I was told today in the chat that we have, is that you can no longer buy nodes through the Nubila website. That even though it shows it, you technically can't buy it. It won't let you. All nodes, for some reason, that's whatever decision they made, will be going through Helium Deploy. And they have different nodes, and you can buy those nodes with a discount at Grumpy Dad 56 for the $300 node, or Grumpy Dad 56 XL for the 500, and I think that one's like 1250 or 1500, something like that. I'm getting a $300 one. I want to get back involved in nodes. It's a good way of passive income. But again, this video is not about that. We're going to strictly talk about Nubila. So again, you go to the Nubila website. They're trying to build the world's first decentralized physical perception layer. You know, it's a bunch of fancy words. I'm going to tell you, I'm also in WeatherXM. Full disclosure, I have 2 of those stations. I am more bullish right now, just today. I'm not doing it. I'm not saying it's just because I'm doing a video and I got a code and that kind of stuff like that. You just don't hear as much about WeatherXM. Token prices going in the wrong direction. You don't hear about anything new, exciting, or anything. Where you're seeing more and more projects coming on board along with Nubila. I saw they had some kind of joint project going on between GeoNet, Wingbits, and Nubila, and just different things like that. It just seems like there's just more excitement right now behind this project. Again, it's new. It is on TGE, and some people like that because we all know you're taking a chance, you're taking a gamble. But sometimes when you get early in projects and you get an airdrop, because you're supposed to get an airdrop of this project, I believe, if you got these things online or a node online before TGE comes, you will get some type of airdrop. You're going to get a little bit better rewards by getting in early. Not every project's like that. Proceed at your own risk. And just remember that none of this is financial advice. We don't know what's going to happen to any of these projects on any given day. We could wake up tomorrow and some of these projects could just be closed down, closed shop, shut down by a local government. We never know. Never play with money in crypto you can't afford to lose tomorrow. Just remember that. But you do take chances in some early projects. And again, you got more excitement coming with this project. And that's why I'm jumping on board with it. Again, I have a Nubila Marco here that we'll be installing shortly. And I have a node next week. And I did a video discussing that. And then next week, also right before that node goes on sale, you will see another kind of overview video on me again. Because some of this stuff is changing. It's TGE, it's testnet, and some things are going to change before mainnet. And we're going to cover that next week. But for today is Nubila. With Nubila, they have stations, validated nodes, and Oracle Converge. You don't see validated nodes, as far as I know, on WeatherXM or anything like that. Validated nodes, make sure that this information is checked, validated, and is good to go for the Oracle. You know, just a simple Google search, Nubila Network and partnerships. You bring up several articles on AI, and we all know that's the big ticket right now. AI partnering up with Nubila, and just a simple this AI kind of search, whatever you want to call this, talks about all the different partnerships and infrastructure partnerships that Nubila has right now. Um, Kite is one that everybody seems to be excited about. I'm not personally familiar with it, but so I don't know how bigger of a deal that is or anything like that. But if you have followed my channel from the beginning, you know VeChain or VET is a token that I own a gigantic bag of. I have been in that for years, and I still DCA into VET almost every single payday, especially when it's at the price it's at now. Because it was over 20 cents at the last all-time high, and it's at 2 cents now. That's near a 9 or 10x. But that's not what this project's about. That's not what this video is about either. I'm just trying to tell y'all that it's a couple of different things. If anybody has also followed this channel for the last 2 years, you'll know that my number one prospect project that I'm in right now, that almost all my blood, sweat, and tears will go into. I personally run 15 stations personally, in addition to hosting a couple for friends and family and stuff that I end up having to take care of. My biggest project that I have the most anticipation for is Wingbits. And Wingbits has also partnered up with Nubila. So it's on the blockchain I like, as in VET. It's partnering up with my number one project. And I'm going to tell you, I had somebody ask me last night on my live. I do a live every Tuesday and Thursday night. Grumpy, rank your top 3 projects, no matter if they're on TGE or not TGE yet. And it's easy. And I'm not going to put them basically in order, but I would still say Wingbits, GeoNet, and Nubila. I think, if you want to go into some meme depends, I would also put Entropy into that also, just because they're doing something way different, and they do a lot of marketing. So that's probably my top 4 projects, I would think. But Wingbits, GeoNet, definitely. Nubile is coming now. Then Entropy is honorable mention. But this is a big deal. When you know what Wingbits, who already has partners signed, we've seen evidence of that. They've announced that. We also know they're partners with GeoNet, and when they talk about some of the drone stuff they're planning on doing, decharge and different things like that, this is a huge deal. They need to know what the weather is with some of these projects they're working on. So Nubila has that going for them. And if you want to get into Nubila now, you can actually purchase a Marco now from Helium Deploy, and it will arrive to you in about a week. It should ship out. They tell me like within 2 days normally, and if it's weekend or holidays or anything like that. But you can get one of these Nubila Marcos now. Again, it's competitively priced compared to what I paid for like a Weather XM a while back. I think some of the Weather XM is more expensive. There is another project called SkyX. I haven't really heard that much about it. I know there are people involved in it, so don't nobody go and blast me in comments below. I just don't find that there's as much chatter, or the positivity that you're hearing right now about Nubila. So you can get this right now. They're $300. And of course, if you use the Grumpy code, GrumpyDad56 at checkout, you will save 10%, which should help you out with tax or shipping or something like that. And you know, and I'm addressed to the people who make the comments about, oh, you just pushing this because of your code. No, I'm not. I'm into it. I have one, and I'm buying a node. And you know what? If you don't like the code, then don't use it. Pay the full percent. Don't get the 10% off, and you go do you. My code helps y'all out more than it helps me. I don't make 10%, off y'all's. I mean, I don't make that 10% in my pocket. So, but and another positive thing you have with buying this from Helium Deploy, and I've told you before about it, I don't want to take a deep dive into it, but you do have this DPIN Tracker Pro. And I'm telling y'all, I've played with this. It's cool because you can have all these different projects, GeoNet, Helium, and I have, 17 stations of Helium. I can enter them all in there. And WeatherXM and GeoNet and Demo and SoarChain and all these different ones I'm in. And this thing will track all of them and tell you what you're making every day from it, if they're offline, if there's something wrong. And this thing's pretty cool. So you can check this out. And again, if you are buying one of these or the node, you get 3 months of the Pro edition for free. you can check out the regular version, the non-pro version, for free now without purchasing anything if you want. So that's one little plug I want to give them, because it is a cool thing. And I don't make anything if you join the pro. So there you go. But let's go ahead and get this thing go ahead and start getting this signed up. I'm gonna go download the app on my phone, show you how I do that, show y'all. I like to do kind of how-to videos. That's how I cut my teeth in YouTube about 3 years ago, and doing just strictly how-to videos, showing y'all how to do different things. And then this video kind of this channel grew from there. So we're gonna set up a Nubila Marco brand new on my phone. I'm gonna go temporarily install it in my backyard, because I do have plans to put this somewhere else. I was trying to figure out if I wanted to put it by the Gulf of Mexico, but the install is gonna be a little weird. I do have a guy who has a restaurant with a really tall pole that's right on Lake Pontchartrain, and I'm probably gonna install it there next week. But for right now, I'm gonna go install this in my backyard so I can get it activated, hooked up, and walk y'all through how we're gonna do that. And then we'll come back and close this video out. All right, starting off. So here is our unboxing of our Nubila Marco. I literally have not even broken the seal yet in this. And like I said, I know I'm not the first person to do this. There are a number of Nubila Marcos that are already out there. Somewhere I saw a number that was like, I don't know, 70,000 or something crazy like that. But we're going to go ahead and get this opened up. As you can see, it is still sealed. And let's get this opened up. All right, so you can tell how many unboxing videos I do by my setup. I'm trying to, keep this steady. When I put this on the stand and the camera on the stand, it was just too close. So let's go ahead and get this thing opened up. All right, so we have a quick start guide here. Shows the Marco, the solar panel, a couple different instructions and stuff. It looks like it's more for the hardware. And also in the back, how you can download the app also. Next, we have our protective foam. And here is, and the solar panel is hidden underneath. See that? And we have one bracket. And these feel like metal, actually. Aluminum or something else. And here is our Nubila Marco. With the protective cover on top. Yeah, some screws and anchors to hold to anchor all this down, which is a good deal. Just depending on where you're going to install it at. And here is, you have the cable for it. Okay, let's hold this with one hand. Here is our solar panel. All right, let's start checking this out. All right, first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the quick start guide here. I'm just gonna go ahead and scan this QR code so I can get the app. And I'm getting the Nubila app on the store. So I got my Marco. I'm already following them on Twitter. I've joined their Discord, stuff like that. But I need to download the Nubila app. They have it for Android and they have it for iPhone. So I'm going to go ahead and download that. I already got it downloaded and I'm opening it. Now I have to register because I haven't registered it yet. So let me go register while I know y'all don't want to watch that, and I'll be right back. All right, so now that I'm signed in, it's asking me, make sure my location access is on, my Bluetooth access is on, and mine says granted, enables device for. So I hit go, and I'm gonna hit allow. So now they both say granted. And we'll go ahead and press continue. Let's go. Welcome on board. If you want to continue your Marco, please follow my guideline. Let's go, buddy. Click here to connect your Marco and set up your locations. Tap here to check the details of the connected Marco. White icon means data uploaded. So this is just a guide. All right, so it says my location. So this is what the temperature is actually outside. So I guess I gotta click here to add a device. So I'm taking my Marco. I did let it charge overnight. And here is my Nubila Marco. No lights on the top, because I saw a light come on before. So it says blow on or turn the wind sensor to activate your Marco. A blue light will indicate the Marco is activated and ready to pair. When Marco detects a tilt or falls to an angle below 45, it will automatically enter sleep mode. So we gotta make sure we don't do that. You need to blow or turn the wind sensor each time to reactivate your Marco. So I'm gonna go ahead and blow it. And I got a blue light on now. More than 2 devices. When confirmed, you can check the last 6 of the serial number. So it's got my serial number on it. So you click the one it found and you press connect. So it says connected to my Marco. So my next screen says you successfully set up your Wi-Fi. You can now rename it. So I wonder what we should rename it. What else? Grumpy's Nubila. How about that? I'm gonna hit done. And there's a save in the top right corner. I'm gonna hit save. Enter your referrals code to earn $50. All right, so it says, do I need help with placement? Check our setup guide for tips on optimal device positioning. You're all set. You can now start using your device and enjoy live weather updates in the app. Please note, before outdoor installation, Marco's battery needs to be charged to 100%. So we're gonna go and start. I don't know which one, if I should pick one of these right now or not. But tell you what, we're gonna go outside and install this thing, and then we'll try the whole optimize and start now and stuff like that, and see what happens. Let's go. All right, here we are in the back of the Grumpy Dad Oasis. What's behind me, you see, is a sugarcane field. For those who want to know where sugar comes from, that's what we grow in South Louisiana. It can handle the heat and grows like a weed when it's really sunny and hot outside. I hope the wind's not too much, but I guess it's a perfect time to put up our Nubila device. But I think I did an unboxing video. I can't remember. That's how bad it is. But again, what we got in the package is a Nubila Marco. We had a solar panel that came in. It has a USB plug underneath, which will go into the Nubila on the bottom. And we also had 2 different brackets right here. You have one bracket that will go on top of like a wooden post, and that you can plug in, that you can screw into the bottom of your Marco. And then you also have this angled one that you can adjust the angle however you want it, and that will be for the solar panel. So I'm going to, again, this is temporarily, again, I hope the wind's not too bad. I hope y'all can hear me. But this is just gonna go temporarily. If I can turn this without making the camera fall. I have a 4x4 post right here that I'm gonna, fun fact is I've lived right here and built this house 20 years ago. And this fence has been rebuilt 4 times or 5 times for hurricanes. If you see behind me, that's why it hasn't been rebuilt. I don't have any small little kids anymore. My dog stays in the yard. So a new fence right now to replace this fence, my fence all the way around, just so I can say I addressed it because it looks like crap. But the fence, getting this fence repaired right here and also finished or fixed around, $20,000. So no. Anyway, so this 4x4 post is here for this. Again, this is temporarily. I'm putting this up right now for y'all, letting it sit over the weekend. But come either Sunday or Monday, it's going to Lake Pontchartrain, where it's gonna get some very good readings. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna end up putting this bracket right here. And the Marco should be high enough that it can get a wind reading above this fence. And then again, I'm also going to put the bracket for the solar panel right here also. So let me get working on that. I gotta go find my drill. So it does come with a package of these screws and anchors. You know, I guess depending on what kind of wood you're putting it in or anything like that. For these anchors, we'll have to drill a hole first, and then you'll use the screw and the anchors. But again, for this temporary setup, I'm just going to use 2 screws. I think it's windy. All right, that's tight. Watch the cord in the back. So I'm plugging, they got the USB plug on the bottom of this. That comes out the bottom of this. And we'll plug into the bottom of the Nubila. I didn't want to plug it in first because I didn't want to have to spin it around while this was plugged in. And remember, get the plug flush with the bottom. It's kind of tight, but get the plug flush with the bottom of that Nubila Marco. And that's it. Simple as that. You see my big helper. For those who have seen my cooking videos, have seen my puppy dog before, you know, she always loves to go outside. She's afraid she's gonna miss something. And for those who have no idea, that sugar cane behind me is probably 15 foot tall, maybe 10, 12, but either way, it's well over my head. So this is actually where we're putting this at is going to be, that is where the weather XM station is. While this may not be pretty, this is my Davis weather station that I always talk about in these videos. This Davis weather station is roughly 20 years old. It came down for Katrina, hit this ground right here. It came down for Hurricane Isaac in 2012. It came down in Hurricane Ida in 2021. We had 100-mile-an-hour winds. It had a 100-mile-an-hour wind on here before it came down, and it was actually on a 4x4 post. Want to see what happened to it? That's what happened to it. The post is still right there. Shows you how lazy I am. That Davis weather station is more durable than any other of these deep pin weather stations. I'll put up against all of them. This is my ham tower. Many of y'all who've never seen my D-Scam videos or my Wingbits videos in the past, fun fact is that tree was a quarter below that tower, and that's how fast this tree grows. And it's even blocking. I have one TV antenna that goes to Baton Rouge, the other one faces New Orleans. There is a UHF that goes to some channels down in TV channels down in Morgan City. And this is my helium antenna right here, and way on top is a Wingbits. That is 40 foot of section for the tower, so that Um, Wingbits antennas about 45 feet up. And recently, I have actually lopped off the top of this tree to get my antennas clearance, and here it is again. You know, time to get that. This is my garden. Don't you love that I'm giving a tour to my backyard? This is my garden I did with my kids for summertime. Got okra out of it, corn. You can see there's actually, for those who might be from the country or up north who aren't familiar with okra, this is okra. This is okra that's way overripe. That should have been picked already. But if dad doesn't come do it, it doesn't get done. And actually, if you like your okra crop, you just keep your okra and look at all the seeds in here. And you just hold on to these seeds until next year. And actually, you know, these things are so durable, you can put these seeds down, because I had okra that grew on the outside of this. I had tomatoes in here, watermelon in here. Um, and actually, you got a vine of either cucumbers or watermelon trying to come up right now. Watermelon went from here. I mean, no, cucumbers went all the way from here to the ditch. This is my tree that got struck with lightning about 2 years ago. Fun fact, I was inside. It was a very colon cleansing experience. All right, so let's go. We got to get this up. All right, so we're back inside now. And actually, it's about 2 hours later. Ate dinner and even had a drink. It's Friday. You know, watching the little high school football game on TV with my wife. The local high school is playing and stuff like that. And I'm like, I got to go finish this video. So far, our Nubila has been rocking and rolling, I have to say. You can see on the pictures I'm going to show right now that it was online, working, and everything's good with it. Can't complain at all, and I'm happy with it. I will say the only thing that was kind of confusing a little bit was you can see the Bluetooth icon when you're close enough to it. It connects Bluetooth, and we read that out the other day where the Bluetooth is almost an instant connection where you're going to see almost live or updated every couple of seconds the wind speed and temperature and that kind of stuff like that, where Wi-Fi only updates every few minutes. And that was kind of weird because you can see where the RSSI is. You can see where it doesn't show a strength, but it's connected to Wi-Fi because it's getting a signal back right now, and the temperature's changing. And I will say that temperature is about 1 degree within my Weather XM station, which is also within about 1 degree of my Davis weather station. So the wind speed is off a tad. And what's weird is I have that Davis that I showed y'all in the video. That's one reason why I showed y'all also. I have the Weather XM and I have that one. And even though you could hear the breeze kind of going through there, you can look at all three of them and see they were spinning at different speeds. Sometimes one wasn't spinning and the other ones were, or another one wasn't spinning when the other ones were. You know, it's quite odd, you know, and I guess you just don't know how the wind's coming through there. But so far, it seems like, you know, it's running good. So we're going to keep an eye on it for the weekend. And probably Sunday or Monday, I'll be going out by the lake where this person told me I could put it at by their restaurant on the lake. And we'll hook it up permanently there. And the only thing that concerns me is like I don't see it on the map right now. I do see it on the app on my phone, but you know I live in this general area right here, and I don't see it. It does not show up. Again, it's been online now about 4 hours, and it's not on yet. So I will be putting it along Lake Pontchartrain in the Lake Pontchartrain area, which does get some pretty good winds when in these tropical systems and stuff like that. Hopefully, we don't have any kind of tropical systems in the next 2 or 3 years. But again, one of my worries is the way I figured it out using a formula. The max speeds on this thing are 84 miles an hour. And the last two hurricanes that have come through here have both put 84 plus mile an hour winds through here. One of them was 100 plus. It was over 75 sustained for several hours because it stood on top of us. That was Ida. And it's a massive destruction. The one last year had a couple of gusts above 80, mostly, you know, 50, 60, 70 mile an hour winds, but well, you know, we'll see. I was contemplating on putting it in this Grand Isle area. My problem would have been a mounting issue with a square. The building I could have put it on in Grand Isle had a square tubing around the top, no wood to mount anything. And I just didn't want to have to go deal with it if this thing does lose, if I gotta go reset it or something like that, this is a almost 3 hour drive from my house, where this is a 20-minute drive from my house. So, we're probably gonna stick it right here. So, um, we'll see. We'll see what's gonna happen with this project. I am kind of excited about it, as y'all can see. I like the partnerships with it. We don't know. We don't know what's gonna happen with this project or any of these projects we're involved in. But we got to kind of just look at what their partnerships are, what the future looks like with them, and just take our best guess. That's all it is to it. So I'm positive on it. I can tell you, if another the biggest question mark probably to a lot of people is going to be, what are the rewards going to be like? We don't know what kind of rewards we're going to be getting as far as tokens and stuff with the Nubila Marco device. We don't know what we're going to be getting with the node that I'm going to be getting next week once that goes TGE, and then we don't know the token price itself is going to be. I can see me. These things are so easy to set up. I find they're easy to set up within the Weather XM device. If I really like the rewards and I'm getting, you know, you have an airdrop coming in on the node, I'm planning on paying for my node by pulling in some of my profits from a couple of other cryptos right now, especially with crypto going up right now. And I don't like paying for anything really out of pocket. I'm cheap. I just got a lot of stuff going on, as y'all know in some of these videos. So my plan is to try and just scrounge up some profit in a couple of different projects, a couple of different tokens, enough that I can get a Nubla node license or whatever it's going to be next Friday. And then if I have profits once this goes TGE, I can see me then going back and buying another device for the Grand Isle area, or even at my hunting lease area, which is up in this area. If I can get internet to it or something like that. I got building rooftops here, even though Baton Rouge already has them, but I have building rooftops here available. I have building rooftops in New Orleans available, which if you look at it, New Orleans itself has no stations yet. Um, so I technically could put one there if I wanted to. We'll see. We'll see what rewards are. I'm not gonna get too crazy, too rambunctious with it, but we'll see. All right, boys and girls, y'all have a great, blessed weekend. I appreciate all the support as usual. I'm tired. Y'all can tell I'm tired. It's late, and it's Friday night. Got a long weekend ahead of us with a lot of stuff to do, and I'm probably gonna make another video too, because we just got a lot going on. So got some new news coming out about some things I'm just hearing about, and we'll see where that goes. Thanks everybody. Appreciate it. Have a great weekend. See y'all on the next video.